Good afternoon, everyone. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care? What the heck do we care? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care now? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care? What the heck do we care? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the heck do we care now? If I knew you were coming out of baked cake, baked cake, baked cake. If I knew you were coming out of baked cake, how you do, how you do, how you do? Had to drop me a letter, I'd hired a band, the grandest band in the land. Had to drop me a letter, I'd hired a band, spread the welcome mat for you. Now I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been. But it really doesn't matter, grab a chair and fill your platter and dig, dig, dig right in. If I knew you were coming out of baked cake, baked cake, baked cake. If I knew you were coming out of baked cake, how you do, 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 how you do. Well, today we are going to celebrate Earth Day. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Earth Day, why we celebrate it, how you can celebrate it. And all of the songs we're going to sing today are about being outside or the earth or plants, things like that. So first is the falling leaves. Excuse me, autumn leaves. The falling leaves drift by the window, the autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to know. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. The falling leaves drift by the window, the autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to know. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. It's a beautiful song, one of my favorites, honestly. All right. The first Earth Day. Every year on April 22nd, Earth Day marks the anniversary of the birth of the modern environmental movement in 1970. Earth Day 1970 gave a voice to an emerging public consciousness about the state of our planet. In the decades leading up to the first Earth Day, Americans were consuming vast amounts of leaded gas through massive and inefficient automobiles. Industry belched out smoke and sludge with little fear of consequences from either law or bad press. Air pollution was commonly accepted as the smell of prosperity. Until this point, mainstream America remained largely oblivious to the environmental concerns and how a polluted environment threatens human health. However, the stage was set for change with the publication of Rachel Carson's New York Times bestseller, Silent Spring, in 1962. The book represented a watershed moment, selling more than 500,000 copies in 24 countries as it raised public awareness and concern for living organisms, the environment, and the inextricable links between pollution and public health. The idea for the first Earth Day. Senator Gaylord Nelson, a junior senator from Wisconsin, had long been concerned about the deteriorating environment in the United States. Then, in January 1969, he and many others witnessed the ravages of a massive oil spill in Santa Barbara, California. Inspired by the student anti-war movement, Senator Nelson wanted to infuse the energy of student anti-war protests with an emerging public consciousness about air and water pollution. Senator Nelson announced the idea for a teach-in on college campuses to the national media and persuaded Pete McCloskey, a conservation-minded Republican congressman, to serve his co-chair. They recruited Dennis Hayes, a young activist, to organize the campus teach-ins, and they chose April 22nd, a weekday falling between spring break and final exams, to maximize the greatest student participation. All right, in that note, America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Recognizing its potential to inspire all Americans, Hayes built a national staff of 85 to promote events across the land, and the effort soon broadened to include a wide range of organizations, faith groups, and others. They changed the name to Earth Day, which immediately sparked national media attention and caught on across the country. Earth Day inspired 20 million Americans, at the time 10% of the total population of the United States, to take the streets, park, and auditoriums to demonstrate against the impacts of 150 years of industrial development, which had left a growing legacy of serious human health impacts. Thousands of colleges and universities organized protests against the deterioration of the environment, and there were massive coast-to-coast rallies in cities, towns, and communities. Groups that had been fighting individually against oil spills, polluting factories and power plants, raw sewage, toxic dumps, pesticides, freeways, the loss of wilderness, and the extinction of wildlife united on Earth Day around these shared common values. Earth Day 1970 achieved a rare political alignment, enlisting support from Republicans and Democrats, rich and poor, urban dwellers and farmers, business and labor leaders. By the end of 1970, the first Earth Day led to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of their first of their kind environmental laws, including the National Environmental Education Act, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the Clean Air Act. 2 years later, Congress passed the Clean Water Act. A year after that, Congress passed the Endangered Species Act, and soon after, the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act. These laws have protected millions of men, women, and children from disease and death, and have protected hundreds of species from extinction. All right, tried and true. There's a church in the valley by the wildwood, no lovelier spot in the dale. No place is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. Come, 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 come to the church in the wildwood. Come to the church in the vale. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. Oh, come to the church in the wildwood, to the trees where the wildflowers bloom, where the parting hymn will be chanted. We will weep by the side of the tomb. Come, 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 come to the church in the wildwood. Come to the church in the vale. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. From the church in the valley by the wildwood, and day fades away into night, I will faint from the spot of my childhood, wing my way to the mansions of light. Come, 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 come to the church in the wildwood. Come to the church in the vale. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. One more time. Come, 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 come to the church in the wildwood. Come to the church in the vale. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. And I recognize that song is about a church, but every time I sing it, I have the imagery of it in the middle of the forest, and I see all the flowers and the trees, and so that's my connection there, in case you were wondering. All right. I think I forgot to mention all of this information is from earthday.org, so they have their own website. Earth Day goes global in 1990. As 1990 approached, a group of environmental leaders approached Dennis Hayes to once again organize another major campaign for the planet. This time, Earth Day went global, mobilizing 200 million people in 141 countries and lifting environmental issues onto the world stage. Earth Day 1990 gave a huge boost to recycling efforts worldwide and helped pave the way for the 1992 United Nations Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. It also prompted President Bill Clinton to award Senator Nelson the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest honor given to civilians in the United States, for his role as Earth Day founder. My favorite things. and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. As the millennium approached, Hayes agreed to spearhead another campaign, this time focused on global warming and push for clean energy. With 5,000 environmental groups in a record 184 countries, reaching out to hundreds of millions of people, Earth Day 2000 built both global and local conversations, leveraging the power of the internet to organize activists around the world, while also featuring a drum chain that traveled from village to village in Gabon, Africa. Hundreds of thousands of people also gathered on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. for a First Amendment rally. 30 years on, Earth Day 2000 sent world leaders a loud and clear message. Citizens around the world wanted a quick and decisive action on global warming and clean energy. Earth Day in 2010. As in 1970, Earth Day 2010 came at a time of great challenge for the environmental community to combat the cynicism of climate change deniers, well-funded oil lobbyists, reticent politicians, a disinterested public, and a divided environmental community with the collective power of global environmental activism. In the face of these challenges, Earth Day prevailed, and EarthDay.org reestablished Earth Day as a major moment for global action for the environment. Over the decades, EarthDay.org has brought hundreds of millions of people into the environmental movement, creating opportunities for civic engagement and volunteerism in 193 countries. Earth Day engages more than 1 billion people every year and has become a major stepping stone along the pathway of engagement around the protection of the planet. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me ride by. But a little brown maverick is winking her eye. Excuse me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful day. It's allergy season. Speaking of loving the earth. So today, Earth Day is widely recognized as the largest secular observance in the world, marked by more than 1 billion people every year as a day of action to change human behavior and create global, national, and local policy changes. Excuse me, that's also my cat. Now the fight for a clean environment continues with increasing urgency as the ravages of climate change become more and more apparent every day. She really wants to be a part of this. I apologize. As the awareness of our climate crisis grows, so does civil society mobilization, which is reaching a fever pitch across the globe today. Disillusioned by the low level of ambition following the adoption of the Paris Agreement in 2015, and frustrated with international environmental lethargy, citizens of the world are rising up to demand far greater action for our planet and its people. The social and cultural environments we saw in 1970 are rising up again today. A fresh and frustrated generation of young people are refusing to settle for platitudes, instead taking to the streets by the millions to demand a new way forward. Digital and social media are bringing these conversations, protests, strike, and mobilizations to a global audience, uniting a concerned citizenry as never before and catalyzing generations to join together to take on the greatest challenge that humankind has faced. I feel like you know better, you do better, right? So it's all of our responsibilities to take care of this planet, not only for us, but for future generations. I was just thinking as I was reading that, many of us, part of what we consider when we purchase property is where it is and what the view looks like. And not everywhere is as pretty as where we live here in Edgewater or at Wesley Acres or at Brio. We were very blessed with beautiful landscaping and beautiful grounds, and of course it's bigger than that, but we all need to do our part so that more people get to enjoy the beautiful landscapes and all of the animals. And also, as I was researching, I chose not to include this information or not dwell on it heavily, but Iowa has quite a few endangered species, and a lot of them are found in the rivers. Mollusks and clams and things like that, fish. So I am a firm believer in knowledge is power. The more we know, the better we can do. So I am very passionate about the earth. I love taking advantage of the natural beauty it provides. It also just brings me a feeling of peace and calmness and serenity and kind of resets my mental state. So I'm off my soapbox now. All right, how about springtime in the Rockies? Speaking of beautiful landscapes. When it's springtime in the Rockies, I'll be coming back to you, little sweetheart of the mountains, with your bonny eyes of blue. Once again I'll say I love you, while the birds sing all the day. When it's springtime in the Rockies far away. When it's springtime in the Rockies, I'll be coming back to you, little sweetheart of the mountains, with your bonny eyes of blue. Once again I'll say I love you, while the birds sing all the day. When it's springtime in the Rockies far away. When you wore a tulip, a sweet yellow life cheery when you called me dearie. 'Twas down where the bluegrass grows. Your lips were sweeter than julep when you wore a tulip, and I wore a big red rose. When you wore a tulip, a sweet yellow tulip, and I wore a big red rose. When you caressed me, 'twas then heaven blessed me, a blessing no one knows. You made life cheery when you called me dearie. 'Twas down where the bluegrass grows. Your lips were sweeter than julep when you wore that tulip, and I wore a big red rose. I was actually just talking to a coworker, and this was something I had never considered. But she said her sister was doing a challenge to produce as little waste as she could in terms of garbage. And she went down to like one garbage bag a month. One bag a month. That's impressive. So even just creating your waste to be as small as possible and to save the space in the landfill. So if it's going to go to the landfill, let's make it take up as much or as little space as possible. I just had never even considered that, which is so sad. But it opened my eyes. Know better, do better, right? So, all right, let's do one more today. And this is one that I have honestly just learned, like yesterday, thanks to a resident who suggested it. April showers. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know, it's raining violets. And when you see clouds upon the hill, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for its song whenever April showers come along. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know, it's raining violets. And where you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song whenever April showers come along. I hope you have enjoyed the Earth Day activities that Edgewater has put on and were able to partake in them. It sounds like they had a lot going on. So happy Earth Day to all of you, and to say goodbye, tell me the way to go.